Endy Assefa, President of the Ethiopian Tourist Guides Professional Association, to explore those issues and more ahead of the peak tourism season coming up. And Endy, a very warm welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mr. for having me.
So you came into being the association, the Ethiopian Tour Guides Professional Association came into the picture. When was it, 4 years ago?
Yes, it was back in 2020, June 2020.
So that's when it took off. But the industry is an old one. Why did you come late into the picture?
Yeah, so one of the reasons that we decided to become united, to form this association, was we never had the platform to gather up together. As a tour guide, there was even a wrong perception about the profession. So there was a big interest from all over the tour guides that are working nationally to form a platform that represents them. So it was late, but it was nice also being late, and we came with big energy. And also, in fact, as you remember, back in 2020, there was a pandemic era, COVID period, and that gave us a time to reunite and to think about our profession, So it was an opportunity for us as well. But as you said, it was late.
So, I know there were and there still are associations of your sort organized at the regional level.
Yes.
I remember talking to the association in Lalibela several years ago. Is this association based on those regional associations, or it's a totally different story? It evolves separately.
So tour guiding has two different phases in Ethiopia case, The first one is the national guides, like me or like my colleagues, who are guiding all over Ethiopia. Mainly they are based in Addis Ababa, wherever they are from, but mainly they are in Addis. They welcome the visitors at the airport, and they take all over the country. But also there are the local guides. The local guides are limited on their own spot, so they guide around their hometown or their home destination, so they are limited on specific destination. But here, the Ethiopian Tourist Guides Professional Association is an association formed by the national tourist guides who are traveling all over the country. So the difference is we are the national guides, but also at the regional level, there are local guides.
Are they your members too?
Yes, they have.
All of them, or?
Not all of them. So this is an individual membership because of your profession. You are a professional tourist guide, so you can be a member of ETGPA.
When you say professional, what does it mean?
Professional is, for instance...
You have to be trained at the university, first degree or so?
Yeah, there should be educational background or qualifications to be a professional tourist guide that's directly related with the profession, tourism or tour guiding. So it can be related fields, an aspect of tourism, but you must have an educational qualification to be a professional tourist guide. And also you need to sign the code of conduct that the association has already formulated. So you will be ruled by the code of conduct. And also our association is a member of the World Federation of Tourist Guide Association. So every member of our association are member of the WFTJ, and we respect the world standard of tour guiding principles.
So when you say education, what specifically are you talking about? I know there are several university-trained students for the first degrees in tourism, be it in hotel management or guiding, archaeology or history and so on. But are you specific about that training?
So as you know, tourism wasn't given a big attention, especially on the educational institution. There were few educational institutions that were giving tourism as a main course or for diploma or for degree. Nowadays, we're having a lot of higher educational institutions that are providing tourism as for degree, for masters, even few years back, Addis Ababa University was giving at the PhD level. But back in days, there were quite few private and governmental institutes that were providing this education. So We start from the diploma level, from the certificate level, but it must be tourism, It must be tourism related. It can be specializing on tour guiding or tour operation. You may have another discipline that you took for your degree. For instance, you can be an archaeologist, but if you decide to be a tour guide, you must have something from the tourism aspect.
So what were you trained in?
So my first degree, I did my first degree in Adama University by tourism management. I did my master's in Addis Ababa University by tourism management and development.
How many members do you have now? Over 300?
We do have 300 active tourist guides for now.
Active meaning?
Active meaning you can call them and you can give them a job. So that's an activeness,
You give them a job or they get the jobs themselves?
Actually,
they make the connections with how does it work?
Yeah, so being a tour guide, you can be a permanent tour guide for a certain company, but also you can be a freelancer. So you can work for different companies, and those companies, they call you whenever they get a tour.
You're talking about the travel agencies within Ethiopia?
Within Ethiopia, the
tour operators.
Tour operators. Yeah. But now a new trend has appeared that clients all over the world, they try to connect directly to the tour guide. So this is the new form of the tourism, as you know. Some visitors, they have some special interest. So rather connecting to the tour operator or buying a package directly from the website, they want to connect personally to the tourist guide. So this has become a trend, especially for the last 5 years.
So doesn't that put you at odds with the tour operators who traditionally were the ones who hired your services?
That's true. There is some conflict going on, but we must accept that tourist guide is a profession. So someone with his profession has the right to be hired by anyone who wants his service. So we had a traditional approach about tour operation, but internationally, when we see the trend, it's very obvious people, they would rather prefer to have a personal experience or a personal connection ahead of their trip with their tourist guide. So some people, they want to go through the company, that's okay. But there are also some visitors, they want to connect with us. And it must be respected. As to us, this has to be respected. And this is a new form of a tourism market. So we are trying to make it legalized, to have it every legal ground to guide individually, solely, and give service for tourists.
So language is a very scarce commodity, foreign languages in Ethiopia. It's not like in Kenya.
Yeah.
Very scarce commodity. How are you handling that?
So mostly we do have English-speaking tourist guides, but we do have also bilinguals. Some guides, they speak Spanish, French, Italian, German. We do have Arabic as well. So, of course, we need to do more on it. As you know, in Ethiopia, trying your English is one of the way people, they perceive you as a smart guy. So having said that, but we still need to have many tourist guides, or especially multilinguals, So we don't have Russian-speaking tourist guides. We don't have a lot of Portuguese-speaking tourist guides. So recently we joined also the BRICS, and that give us a trade opportunity. With trade there is tourism, so there is a people connection between countries, and we must have different language speaking tourist guides, and it's still a problem actually. Some people, they have good knowledge, but they don't know how to deliver it in a good way, in a good speaking skill. So it was a problem, but as a tourist guide, that our personal efforts helped us, Maybe you can take an example. Me, when I grew up, I used to watch your show, so or movies. So those helped me out to communicate well with my visitors.
How about the association? What is it doing about providing training in other languages other than, for example, English and French? Because you mentioned with BRICS, there will be Russians coming.
Yes, definitely.
Here, and the Chinese are already in here en masse. What are you doing about that, training your members in those languages?
So one of the benefits being a member of ETGPA is members can get these training programs. So those training programs might have a variety, but we specifically focus on language trainings as well. So this year we collaborate with the Chinese embassy and Confucius Institute in Addis Ababa University, and also the Ministry of Tourism. So we're now on training that was given for over 45 members of ETGPA for 3 weeks. So it's a short Chinese language training. And we got a promise from the Chinese embassy from those trainees, those who performed well, they may get a chance to get an opportunity for scholarship, maybe in China, maybe also in Addis Ababa. So that's also one of our focus area to empower our guides to have the language variety in Ethiopia. And we believe also the future market will be from Asia, from Latin America.
So you need to get ready for that.
Yes. And also we're afraid of that when we recover fully from the obstacles, when we start our tourism, and we will have scarcity about tourist guides, like we don't have, some of the tourist guides have left the country, very expertise level tourist guides already shifted their profession to another job. So we must be ready before it restarts, it recovers fully,
So do you have specialized fields, for example? Do we have enough birders?
You mean bird watching guides?
Guides, yes.
Yeah.
Bird watching guides.
Yeah. So tour guiding is a multidisciplinary field, so you need to have a lot of knowledge about different things. You must know about plants, you must know about animals, you must know about birds, you must know about culture. So as a professional tourist guide, you must learn a lot of things before you join the industry. But also we do have specializations based on personal interest. Some tourist guides, they are very much interested on archaeology. Some, they are interested on birds. So some on special adventures, So it depends on the tourist guide's preference, but in general, the tourist guide must have at least basic knowledge about different aspects that he is gonna showcase.
I know, but specialist bird guides are very rare in this country. That's why I read that.
Yes, very rare, but we do have them.
Considering the number of endemic birds we have within the country, right?
Yes. So we do have limited number of bird watching tourist guides, but still we are working on it.
So as far as tourists are concerned, as far as your clients are concerned, the majority of those tourists basically focus on what? Historic or wildlife, the historic route, or wildlife, or people-oriented travels, or you have some others as well?
Yeah, it depends on...
It's a mix, right?
Yeah, it's mixed. The demography shows, for instance, the age group and also the origin of the visitor, where he came from. Let's assume the Americans, the very matured Americans, the retired ones, they are more focused on history, culture, and mostly we do have the historic route on the northern Ethiopia and also central part of Ethiopia, as well as the eastern part of Ethiopia. But also we do have these young tourists, they want to do the extreme adventures, like the one we do in the Afar Triangle, the Danakil Depression, where you go very extreme, where you drive for 8 hours in a day, where you will be in one of the hottest settlements on Earth, where you will be in one of the lowest place on Earth. So those young people, they don't need much narrative. They just want to be on the place and they want to take a picture and they want to go. So we do have different tests from different visitors. So that's why the tourist guide is very smart in recognizing the behavior of the tourist. So upon arrival, we understand who are our clients according to their age, according to their origin, according to their conversation with us, so we understand what they are looking for. So we manage in that case. Sometimes the people, they don't want to be lectured like the whole day.
Right, exactly.
But some visitors, they want to talk to you the whole day. So you have to accommodate every interest that you will face.
Again, that goes back to training.
Yes.
And the way of handling tourists. So what comes to mind as far as your profession is concerned is ethics, the ethical standards.
Talking about ethical standard, we do have a code of conduct. A member should sign it before joining the association, and we clearly put it in front of him, and we talk about all the details. So luckily, Ethiopian tourist guides are very much ethical, naturally. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes, I would say.
Don't they cross the line sometimes?
Of course, but this time it's confusing. Some people, they think everyone is a tour guide, like someone from the airport taxi, he tried to be a tour guide. That doesn't represent the tour guide. I'm talking about the real tourist guides that are dedicated for their profession. They are full-time tour guides. They are educated, and they signed the code of conduct. So yes, there are some people, they pretend to be a tour guide, but they are not a tour guide, actually. So in our case, most of the time, we don't have even big issues that you see in different countries, I mean, like ethical issues. So first of all, our integrity is amazing. We are very hospitable, we don't expect, our expectation is not about money or about gratitude or about tip. It's just delivering the service properly and making those people happy, and it will be transformative, travel experience. So it will stay longer after they leave the country, and more of its personal connection. That's why currently our tourist guides are winning the industry, because they form this connection with many visitors. And those visitors, using their word of mouth, using their recommendation, they are sending clients to Ethiopia. And they recommend that specific tourist guide because he was good, ethically and professionally.
It's interesting. That brings me again to the relationship that you have with tour operators, because these institutions, these companies basically organize trips on a much larger scale. They pay their taxes and so on and so forth. They say they should get a cut. And also the relationship that you have with hoteliers and largely with the Ministry of Tourism.
So basically, our relationship with the tour operators is very good. However, we want to make it clear that the current tour operators were the former tourist guides. So back in years, like 20 years ago, someone was a tour guide. He became now a very good tour operator. So tour operation needs a background, to be honest. So we might think it's a business entity, but there should be passion about it. There should be dedication and consistency about it. So mostly when you see the current tour operators were tour guides formerly, and they know the passage, how to be here. But we must understand also the new trends in the worldwide. So if a client wants a personalized experience, like connecting with the tourist guide, we must respect that, and the government must find a way to legalize it and also bring it in a legal way. The tourist guides can pay the tax, can generate foreign exchange. So we must see it in a positive way. And we do have also a good relationship with them. And of course, with every stakeholders, we do have good relation. And the hoteliers, as you mentioned, by the way, the tourist guides, they make viewpoints even. They make a hotel to be promoted. They make restaurants famous, That's who we are, Wherever we go, when we get a good service, we recommend for the next tourist guide. So if you see all over Ethiopia, the tourist guides, they created destination, they promoted hotels, they promoted restaurants. So we have a huge contribution in the industry.
With the Ministry of Tourism, and destinations are being developed, right?
Yes. So with the Ministry of Tourism, we are trying our maximum to clarify that we are the key stakeholder in the industry. Now there is a very positive response from them. Formerly, the tourist guides were not like considered even as a key actor, but now, thanks to the administration, they are taking care of us very well. We do have a communication. They offer us also training. We collaborate in so many things, and it has to continue. But also saying this, I want to point out the Ministry of Tourism must find a way to use this fresh energy, fresh tourist guides, to put them into the tourism investment, to find them a way to become a tour operator so that they can benefit the country, the community, and also the industry.
Well, good luck with that. Thank you very much for joining me to talk about this important issue. It's really a pleasure having you on my show.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tafara.